All right, let's get going. We got the angle and triangle review today. First problem we're going to take a look at is what's the meaning of supplementary and complementary angles. So we know if we have an angle of 35 degrees and we want to find its supplement, all we have to do is subtract it from 180 and we get 145 degrees. The next one, we have a 39-degree angle and we want to find its complement. To do that, we just subtract it from 90 degrees because complementary angles add up to 90. 90 minus 39 is 51 degrees. Next, we have a diagram with a couple of lines intersected by a transversal. We've created 8 angles. We want to look at what are the vertical angles, and those are angles that are diagonally placed across these intersections. So I've marked each of them for you. So there's actually 4 different possibilities here, and I just picked one to write down for the answer, 6 and 7. On the other hand, supplementary angles are 2 angles that add up to 180. So I've got 2 and 4 here, 6 and 8, 1 and 3, 5 and 7. So I just picked one of those pairs and wrote it down, 2 and 4. But I could have picked even more than what I've got shown here. So there's a lot of possible correct answers here. All right, now we've moved on to this diagram where we're showing the interior angles versus the exterior angles. And we want to know what are the alternate interior angles. And so of these 4 angles, the alternate interior angles are positioned diagonally across the transversal like this. So 2 and 7 and 3 and 6 are considered alternate interior angles. Alternate exterior angles are angles that are found outside of these lines here. And they are also on alternate sides. So you've got 1 and 8 are considered alternate exterior angles, as well as 4 and 5. And what's nice about those angles is if you can identify them, you know that they are congruent. So if I tell you what 5 is, you can find out what 4 is. So there we go. So the next one is corresponding angles. These are angles that are in the same position on this diagram. It's like 1 and 3 are both in the upper left-hand corner, 5 and 7 upper right-hand corner, 6 and 8 lower right-hand corner, and 2 and 4 in the lower left-hand corner of my diagram. These are called corresponding angles, and you could just pick any 2 you wanted, such as 1 and 3, and write them down for your answers. Okay, next we have a diagram here where we're looking for x and y. Now we notice that x or 70 and x are both interior angles on the same side of this transversal. And we know from the theorems that we've learned that these are called same side interior angles, and so they add up to 180 degrees. So 180 minus 70 equals 110. So I know that x is 110 degrees. And I could put that in there, right? Now to find y, if x is 110, then I just have to set 3y plus 50 equals 110 and solve for y. So I minus 50 from both sides, then divide by 3, and I end up with y equals 20 degrees. Okay, the next one is an example of the triangle sum theorem where the 3 angles of a triangle have to add up to 180. And so in order to find x, I just take 180 and subtract the 2 angles that I know off. And those angles add up to 115. So 180 minus 115 equals 65 degrees. Next, I have an example of the exterior angle theorem. And I know from our theorem that this angle x has to equal the sum of the 2 interior angles that are on the opposite side of the triangle. So that would just be 50 plus 97, which equals 147 degrees. So there we go. That's our triangle and angle review number 41. So let's get started, and thank you very much.